But let's start out with the statement wins. And there was not a bigger the statement of all statements, I think.
Uh-huh.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Uh-huh. Right? We talked about this a little bit on the Wednesday podcast. I think this was one of your...
This was my buzz watch.
It was your buzz watch.
The other way.
The other way. And I said, it'll be the other way, too.
did.
And you were like, yeah, you're right. But either way, yes, somebody was going to be on the buzz watch in this one. And Minnesota, it was a statement. I think where I want to start off and just say is, like, I don't think I've ever seen C.J. Stroud look as uncomfortable in a football game and off target as much as I saw him in this one. The game started with an interception. Not that he was bad on the first interception of the game. The ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage, popped in the air, interception, short field touchdown for the Vikings. Then Houston drives the ball a little. They miss a long field goal. So then Minnesota has the ball around midfield. They go right down and score right away. So right off the bat, it was 14-0 like that. And now you're playing in a game that it's hard to play in a game like that against Brian Flores in this Minnesota defense, because now they feel like, oh, you'll get impatient with the run, and I can do all my crazy blitzes all the time and all my crazy looks and drop into coverage most of the time, but then send a blitz every now and then. And it just felt like a day where, the Houston offense never got into any rhythm, all right? And it was the second week in a row Minnesota basically saw the same scheme. And what we learned is Bobby Slowick, D'Amico Ryan, not quite as good as Shanahan and the 49ers, but either way, Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell have the answers against this kind of scheme and how the 49ers and Texans play. Phenomenal win, and of course the offense looked good too.
If you were to ask us, who is the defensive coordinator operating at the highest level right now, you would probably say Brian Flores.
I think
right?
so. Yes.
But I was thinking, like, if someone were to ask who's the play caller operating at the highest level right now, you might say Kevin O'Connell.
I don't disagree with that. I think we're getting, you get into a short list of names there. You know how highly I think of Kevin O'Connell. I'm going to just look at some other teams. But you know what? As I look at it right now, I think you're exactly right. This is the hottest duo in the game. We kind of hit this last week. But I think as far as being hot hand calling plays right now, I mean, come on. I know that I've been one that defended Sam Darnold, but did I think it would look like this? And we're just going to dissect the 49ers and the Houston Texans and go into New York and be almost perfect that day. And I know the Giants aren't special. But, yes, there's the play calling on both sides, the play of Sam Darnold. Of course, the weapons. Just Jefferson's a star. Naylor has proven to be some really good third receiver. And this is where I think the Vikings are even different than years past. The last 2 years, we know they, 2 years ago went to the playoffs, right? Last year probably would have if Kirk Cousins doesn't get hurt. They can run the ball this year. And that's where I think they're a little bit different. And I think that's going to really pose problems for teams, because if they can just run a little, again, we know they're great at finding ways to throw the ball down the field, and there's no better recipe to get, those big plays down the field than to get people creeping up at the line to stop the run.
So the two quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud had 0 turnovers during that 2-0 start. In fact, he had not been intercepted since week 11 of last year, and so they did something that not a whole lot of teams have been able to do. It's their worst loss since week 17 of the 2022 season. And for Sam Darnold, he is the only NFL quarterback this year with 2 or more touchdown passes in all 3 games. We have a few things. We have J.J. McCarthy tweeting afterwards.
I like that. Yeah,
Sam Darnold is good at football.
Yes, he is.
It might be harder for J.J. McCarthy now to crack that starting. It might be a Michael Penix situation moving forward for J.J.
Either
McCarthy.
way, cool of him to do that.
That was
cool
cool
of him to give Sam Darnold. He understands how hard it is to get started in this league and be good at it, and he understands that Sam Darnold's been in some tough spots. I guarantee you the first day he got to practice, he was like, what? This is my backup? He throws the ball like this? This is scary. He's big. He's athletic. He's got a quick release. This is the backups in the NFL? What?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, again, we've talked about it, tirelessly as far as Sam Darnold and the career journey he's been on. It's great to see what we're seeing right now. And, yeah, they're rolling. They're rolling on both sides. It was cool to see Greenard get a little payback on his old team. Oh, you want Daniel Hunter, Houston Texans?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't want me?
Daniil,
excuse me? Well, I'm going to show you that I'm better, and I'm not as expensive as he is. But, yeah that was cool. But, yeah, I think they're the hottest team in football. And I think the last thing I'll say, because I think we hit most of the main parts of what's in all this, but, like, this isn't just like some, like, oh, they're hot or they got off to a good start. Like, I think we all have to start, like, this is real. This is real. This is not going anywhere. They're going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. I think that's what I'm seeing. They've given me no reason to think anything other than that to this point now.
Which we should have known, actually. Looking back on it right now, hindsight is 20/20, of course. But it's like you add Grenard, you add Van Ginkel, you've added some dudes on defense, and
Aaron Jones at running back.
They were almost a playoff team last year with a disaster at quarterback.
Right. No, you're right. I think I underestimated them. I didn't give them the respect they deserve. And I think I probably got a little caught up in the Lions-Packers love and then even my Bears love with Caleb Williams. And I mean, I don't think we're wrong with them for Lions and Packers love. The Bears one, we definitely are.
As a Lions fan, thank God the Bears are not what we thought they were going to be. At least so far. So far, because that division, we talked it up as all 4 teams could potentially be a playoff team.
Yeah, but they're not. But we got 3 others that are, and you're right about that. And I underestimated them. But great job by Greenard. Great job by Sam Darnold. And of course, the coaching staff up there in Minnesota is really special.
And a great job by one other group. And for that, it is time for Home Team Help, presented by our friends over there at Lowe's. And that group, the Vikings fans, that place was loud inside that new stadium. Beautiful stadium, too. I was talking to people because I was just in Minneapolis.
Yeah, right.
We drove by it. From the outside, it looks awesome. People that have been inside, they're like, it's the best.
I've been in it. It's cool. It's definitely one of the top stadiums in football. And I haven't been there for a Minnesota game. I was there for the Super Bowl, which was also incredibly loud. I mean, I can imagine how loud it is for just when it's all Vikings fans, because the game I was there was Eagles-Patriots. It's half and half, right? So it's not as loud. But Minnesota has traditionally been one of the toughest places to play in all of football. It's one of those where, as a player, you look at the schedule and go, wait, we got to go to Seattle? We got to go to Minnesota? Those are like the top 2 on the list when I think crowd noise will be a problem, and we're going to have to adjust our game plan on that day because of them.
Here's how loud it was.
Yeah.
Vikings fans, well done. There were 3 straight false start penalties against the Texans offense. Turned a 3rd and 4 into a 3rd and 19. So here's the game log of that. You see it's just like boom, penalty, boom, penalty, boom, penalty. And then you got CJ throwing incomplete to Nico, and then you got a punt right after that. So that was a stop by the Vikings fans.
It was. They were sloppy. I mean, when you take in the 2 turnovers by Stroud, and then you take on those false starts, and again, those 5-yard penalties, things like that against this guy coaching defense in Flores. Wow. I mean, you can't make many mistakes. You got to stay ahead of the chain, stay in power positions, and when you're not, it just makes life really hard because they're so creative on that side of the ball. Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.